Hello everybody, welcome back. Today, as I said yesterday, I'm going to be talking about some lost video games. What's spookier than lost video games? Though, midway through making this video, I realized that a lot of people were that spooky, but still, lost media is kind of spooky, you know? Think about it, it's a lost time that we'll probably never find. For years and years, it's been hidden, and people are searching to try and find its undiscovered and hidden relic. I think it's kind of good for spooky season. Now, the next video I'm going to be making is about creepypastas. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And it just so happens that it happens to be part of the title. The good, the bad, and the ugly of video game creepypastas. You know, your classics. Sonic, Link, maybe Ben, and you know, anyways. Yeah. So, lost video games. That's what we're going to be talking about today, folks. So, I gotta start before you stop watching. So let's begin. Sonic the Hedgehog was released on June 23rd, 1991 for the Sega Genesis by the Sega Corporation. But this would be the first time the public got a view at the Blue Blur. The first time the public ever saw the Blue Blur in action was a whole year prior, back in June of 1990, as an early prototype of Sonic the Hedgehog was displayed at the Tokyo Toy Show in 1990. Now, the Tokyo Toy Show lasted from June 7th to June 10th of 1990 and featured an early prototype of the game Sonic the Hedgehog. And this version had many differences from the game we all know and love. It was very, very different from the Sonic the Hedgehog game. Now, this game was supposed to be included in the Sonic Mega Collection compilation, but they couldn't find it. As it turns out, the Sega Corporation had lost the ROM. They don't know where it is. They looked internally to try to find the ROM, but they weren't able to find the ROM. And along with that, they don't know where the game went or what even happened to the game. All we have are screenshots from different gaming magazines which show off this early version of the Sonic the Hedgehog game. And even though a few years back supposedly footage of the game surfaced, this supposed footage just turned out to be an outright hoax, and it's unknown what exactly the game is or if it'll ever be found. The Minecraft Classic era of the Minecraft development lasted from May 16th, 2009 with version 0.09a to December 22nd, 2009 with version 0.30_03. Now, many of these early versions of Minecraft are completely lost, as the game was constantly updated almost every single day, and due to the fact that many of these versions of the game did not have time to be archived, many of them are completely lost to time, as it's very unlikely many of these versions will be found, as due to how shortly many versions of the game were around for. These lost versions of Minecraft are made up of multiplayer tests, survival tests, and regular single-player early versions of the game. And many of these old lost versions are considered existence unknown, as we're not sure if their existence is unknown or not. And a majority of the versions of Minecraft, of early Minecraft in general, are completely lost. Though some have been found over the years, a couple early versions have been found, it is unlikely all of them will be found, and most likely being lost to time, like other early predecessors of Minecraft, such as Ruby Dung, which we only have a minute amount of screenshots to prove its existence, and of course not mentioning that he did make it, as due to these being around for such a little amount of time, it was very unlikely that all of these were found, and some of them will be lost. Many of these early versions of Minecraft only exist through screenshots nowadays, and will most likely be all we have of many versions of this lost iconic game. Mean Girls was a game intended to be released on the DS and was developed by 505 Games and was supposed to be released on September 11th, 2009 in Europe and April 20th, 2010 in North America, and was based off of the 2004 hit comedy known as Mean Girls. But the thing is, the game was never released and never saw a public release. And though the game did have many pre-order listings on pre-ordering sites, and this is how we attained many screenshots of the game for these pre-order listings. And for many years, that was it. All we had was these screenshots. Up until May 26, 2001, when a YouTuber named Ray Mona announced on Twitter that she actually had a copy of the game and that she would be making a documentary about it. And then the following day, she released a trailer. And now eventually, on June 14th, she revealed that the game was playable, but the problem was the game wasn't playable past the first minigame, as after the first minigame, the game got so bugged and it became totally unplayable. But then a month later, on July 14th, 2021, she uploaded a full playthrough of the entire Mean Girls DS game. As she had mentioned, as turns out, she was able to debug the game with the help of a programmer known as Tommy Shadow, and that the two together were able to completely debug the game, make it completely playable. And she also released videos of the soundtrack for the game, and made it and was able to make an entire playthrough of the game. But the game is still lost to this day. Now, the reason why the game is still lost is because she can't release the game due to legal reasons. She might get into legal trouble. Sometimes this is the case of why Lost Media doesn't get released. Somebody has the piece of Lost Media, but they will get into legal trouble if they do release it. And this is one of those cases where, most likely, unless someone was able to get their hands on the game through another developer, most likely will never see the light of day ever, as it'll just remain Lost Media. The last game I'm going to be talking about is the most mysterious one, as well as the least information about it. This game is known as The Return of Donkey Kong. Now, Return of Donkey Kong was first mentioned in the book Official Nintendo Player's Guide in 1987, in which is listed in the upcoming attractions section. Now, the next mention of the game comes in 1988 in the 5th issue of the Nintendo Fun Club, where it talks about the game as an upcoming game that will be releasing soon. Now, we don't know exactly what the game is about, though we can garner some basic info what the game will most likely be about from the two descriptions of the game that we have. Now, we can guess from the descriptions that in the game, you play as Donkey Kong, and you throw barrels at, most likely, Mario. And of course, this is meant to be a successor to the widely popular Donkey Kong franchise, which was still popular at the time. Now, some people theorize that maybe this is actually meant to be the game Donkey Kong Classics, which was released around the time, but then yet again, Donkey Kong Classics was a compilation game featuring no new original game. So most likely, it was just a game that was supposed to come out, but got canceled, and most likely will never see the light of day, though I wish the game could have come out. So folks, that was my video about lost video games. What y'all think? I hope y'all like it. I spent some time researching these games and trying to, find out whether they've been lost, Found, That's really all I have to say. Yeah, that's all I gotta say, really. So, bye, have a nice time, folks.